Heyo everybody, Haku here with my review for Centaur no Nayami episode 10. So yeah, this one, I don't know what I think about it. I liked it, I enjoyed watching it, but do I think it was all that good? It was alright. That's the thing, it's like, I enjoyed it, but not everything you enjoy has to be perfect, and this was just very alright. But let's discuss it. Let's go through, see what I liked or didn't like. We start off with all of our main three characters in disguise, and their disguises are really adorable. Like, Hime was so cute, and Kyoko, of course, always best girl. But they're apparently watching Sasasul on a date, and I thought it was funny as well that they're following them, but because of the situation with an Antarctican in human society, well, I mean their version of human, there are actual spies watching them, like, everywhere. But they go to a contemporary art museum. We get her date guy, who seemed like a nice person, kind of talking about contemporary art for a bit. I love the reference they threw in there with Interstellar Wars. Then Hime bumps into Mitama, also apparently on a date. I didn't like this at first, because I was like, well, there was no development for this whatsoever. This is out of nowhere completely. Not that the Sasasul thing wasn't also kind of out of nowhere completely. But the second half of this episode was actually really good, much better than the first half, so that kind of alleviated that complaint I first had. Then they go to a bookstore, and that kind of ends off the first half. Now the second half, we start off seeing the Cheesters, which I thought was great, because they're adorable and so funny. I love the Cheesters. Then Koma shows up to pick up Mitama, and Koma's a girl, apparently. Not sure about their relationship, if it's just a friendship or if it's deeper than that, but it seems like they're both okay calling it a date, and it seems like they may be actually together dating. At least that's what I'm going to say that I think it is. But there was never, like, any romantic expression, really. But neither was there any confirmation of, hey, we're just friends, we're embarrassed to be out in public like this together. So it was left very, very vague, probably purposefully so. But whenever we switched back to the Cheesters and they were modeling and drawing, they were just so adorable, so cute. Sue wakes up wanting Tama, and I think that's about all we see for them. But then later on when Tama and... what was her name? Tama and Koma? Was that her name? Tama and Koma, when they were talking later on, and Tama brought up that her dad's illustrations had been used for, like, book covers or whatever, and we saw the Chi-chan book covers. Just so cute. I loved it. And then pretty much at the very end, the big thing, their conversation, was more about Tama. See, this doesn't quite make sense to me, and it hasn't from the beginning. She wants her dad to do painting, but if he does it just for fun, she thinks that it'll hurt his feelings, like, oh, he's not good enough and he'll always just be doing it for fun, so he has to do it for a living, which seems to be kind of forcing him into doing it for a living, when it doesn't seem like he really wants to all that much. It seems like he wants to support his family and then also draw. So I just don't know. I don't know about this. But yeah, overall some thoughts I've had on it. The second half I thought was pretty alright. The second half was pretty good. Overall, though, the show suffers. The show suffers a lot because it's not focused, and there's a good and bad way that this can be done. Like, there are plenty of shows I've seen where it's a bunch of different random side stories here and there from the universe of the show or whatever, but the show itself still has a developed main cast and the main story is still strong. Here the problem is that the show doesn't really have much of a main story at all, even though it's slice of life. None of the characters feel that developed. I mean, I feel like we've barely seen anything important for Hime or Kyoko or Nozomi. I feel like, I think there's not really any focus, and it sort of ends up making the show not so great a lot of the time. Like, it's good when it could be much better, because, like, the universe of it is great, and there's clearly some skill in crafting that, Like last week's episode, the story that was told was great. Now imagine if that story was paired with a really strong main plot line, and we just don't have that plot in there. And the same thing with Tama's family. I love throughout the series how the story of their family has been nice, but it's kind of been a bit sloppy, where it's like, what does she really even want for her dad? It's like, it may just be the translation, but it's not conveyed very well. Does she want him to fail? Does she want him to succeed? Does she like him or not like him? It seems like she likes him and wants him to succeed, but her way of going about it seems really messy and illogical, and it doesn't seem like something a real person would do, which makes the character seem kind of And that it's just a bit sloppy. It's just a bit unfocused and sloppy as a show. I did enjoy Sasasol a lot, trying to learn art and all that, but again, setting it up as a random date that had no development with a new character seemed, even though I kind of liked it, like 1 or 2 lines he had, it seemed like a dumb choice when they could have sort of set up the exact same episode, except Hime and her friends taking her to an art exhibit to teach her art. It builds up their friendship. It shows that they're trying to help her learn human society stuff like she's trying to learn, which would make them seem like good supportive friends of what she's trying to do. And it could be used to further develop, give those 2 lines given to the random new character to Nozomi or Kyoko or Hime and make them more developed. It just seemed like there were a lot of sloppy choices here, and the story just didn't have any focus. And that goes for pretty much the whole show, but this episode it was really, really noticeable. So that said, like I said, I did really like it and I enjoyed watching it, but when it comes to quality, it wasn't all that great, and I would give it 4 Chi-Chan book covers out of 10. So either way, 4 out of 10. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like if you did like the video, and comment down there to tell me what you thought of this episode and what you thought of my thoughts on it. Subscribe for more Centaur and Nayami, much more on the channel. Follow on Twitter if you want. I can try to keep you updated there and stuff for the channel, or talk to you there. If you want a link to our Discord server, ask and I'll give it to you. That's it. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.